Hello, still Huntress here. Um, Sorry about the graininess of my camera. My camera is crap. This is a VR to Annie over at Mirth and Reverence. She had posted a video about um, invoking and evoking the gods and goddesses and the relationship that solitaries have with their gods and goddesses. And this is really interesting to me because I'm in the midst of a massive change with regards to this. Um, I became a pagan probably officially uh, late 80s, early 90s, and I've always been solitary. And my relationship with the gods and goddesses has always been basically non existent. Um, I worshipped the One, which in Annie's video on the Presence Candle, she calls the Dryden, and I quite like that. Um, that was my primary focus. I had a God and Goddess candle, which I lit from the Dryden, and I viewed them as psychological constructs that made the Dryden easier to handle for a mere human's brain. I also viewed all the gods and goddesses as psychological constructs. They were fictitious, and um, I really didn't feel any connection to any of them. If other people did, that was great for them. Um, However, a lot of things in my practice have changed recently, and I'm viewing the gods and goddesses more as actual beings that really exist somewhere. Um, my brain is still wrestling with that. Um, the idea that there's a race of spiritual entities that live on another plane, and throughout history, people have encountered these beings and worship them as gods, or if they really do embody this plane on some level. I'm still wrestling with that. Um, I think a series of events have happened that the Drayden sent to me because there is a feeling in, I think the Drayden feels that I need to have a more visceral, passionate relationship with the other realm. Annie's description of her relationship with her god and goddess is a beautiful, beautiful description, and gives me hope that there's something amazing and wonderful waiting for me at the end of this muddy road. I have my galoshes on and I'm slogging through it. Um, my relationship with the Drayden has always been with the One, has always been the kind of relationship you would have with the horizon. You know the horizon is sky and earth, and that sky and earth is all around you. But the horizon is, by its definition, a distant experience. And my relationship with the One was always one of respect and reverence and sort of a tranquil Zen distance. And that gave me a great deal of comfort and stillness when my life was going to hell in handcart. I could go and be with the Drayden, be with the One, and remind myself that everything is connected and everything is alive, and that livingness is sentient, cares for me, sends me messages. I've received feathers in my life since the early 90s as messages, very specific messages. Um, when my grandmother died, I didn't find out until later that day after work. Um, but that day at lunchtime, I had opened the door to my apartment, and there was a feather in the hallway of my apartment building, right in front of my door. And I remember thinking that's very odd, and I picked it up and kept it because I felt it had to be significant because I always get feathers that are significant. and found out my grandmother had died around lunchtime that day. Things like that have always happened to me, so I've always interpreted feathers as a message from the one. Um, I feel like when I do a tarot card reading, it's the one that is choosing the cards as a message to me in an attempt to communicate with me, knowing how I'm going to interpret the different pictures. Now I'm wondering if those feathers were from another being that's been taking care of me. I don't know. Um, I'm still discovering this whole thing. The idea that the gods are actually real is kind of come out of left field for me, to be honest, and I'm still wrestling with that idea. That was never part of my practice, and not too impressed. I have to say this. I don't want to offend anyone. If people have relationships with their deities that works for them, that is great. I I still have the same friends I had in kindergarten. I I I stay with things for a long time. Some could say that's a fault. And the idea that a God would stay with me for a certain amount of time and then decide you need to move on to a new God now. This is Hathor. We had cappuccino earlier. I've told Hathor all about you. It'll be great. I'm off shift right now. I don't, no, I can't deal with the idea that a God will one day switch me out somehow because they've taught me all they need to know. I thought they were a God. I have mixed feelings about this whole thing, and I need a god or a goddess or a god and a goddess that's going to stay with me for a lifetime. I want a lifelong relationship. I am monogamous by nature. And um, yeah, a god that is susceptible to jealousy, pettiness. Um, I I have no time for that. What I don't understand how that's godly in any way. And I could process those things back when I believed the gods were psychological constructs. They they made the gods more human because they were conceived by humans. But if any of these characterizations of the gods' personalities are in any way accurate, no thanks. I don't have time for high school drama. So I am really at a crossroads. And I believe the Drayton, the one, wants me to have a stronger, more tactile relationship, the kind of relationship Annie has with her gods and goddesses, her god and goddess. But I don't know that I'm willing to enter into a relationship with a lot of the gods and goddesses that seem to be out there. And if it's not up to me to pick them, it's up to them to pick me, I'm good with the one. Thanks. All the same. So I'm really at a crossroads, and I I'm thinking that I may choose a god and goddess to revere, and if they want to come on over and receive the gifts I have to give them, great. If they're not interested, uh, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Yeah, this is there's always the one. The one is always waiting for me again. Um, and Annie's experience gives me a lot of positive encouragement. So, Annie, you wanted to know different solitary practitioners' situations. That's my situation. Screwed the hell up at the moment, but you have to be screwed up in order to get screwed straight, right? So, I'll see you soon. Bye.